Hello, it's David Allen and you are watching Sporting Icons.
Right, so former WBA regular world heavyweight champion Manuel Charr, who of course got stripped of the belt for boxing politics and awarded to Trevor Bryan to fight for the vacant belt against Pomace Deverne of all people. What can you do? Anyway, Manuel Charr, he's still walking around as if he is WBA regular world heavyweight champion. What can you do? Anyway, he stops Christopher Lovejoy in 2 rounds. Christopher Lovejoy, who had a record, was it 19 wins and 19 knockouts? I mean, if you look at who it was that he was fighting, they were just gimme fights, weren't they? He was beefing up his resume in order to get, at some point, a payday. And it worked for him. He used social media to his advantage, and it's a very, very clever thing for him to do. It really is. It worked out for him. But when you look at this particular fight, both of these guys were not in any kind of shape. You could see the inactivity on both fighters. Manuel Charr is one of the most inactive fighters in the history of boxing, for whatever reason it may be. But Manuel Charr, he's a guy who's, you have to call him a warrior, okay? Because Manuel Charr, he will get in the ring with anybody. He fought Vitaly Klitschko. The fight got stopped on cuts. Manuel Charr was protesting profoundly about it. He was all signed and had the press conference and everything to go fight David Haye. David Haye pulled out of that fight. Manuel Charr, he has been in there with the likes of Alexander Povetkin. Of course, he got knocked out by Alexander Povetkin, but he got knocked out by a career cruiserweight, and he's still a cruiserweight, in Maris Bradis. He lost on points to Johan Duapa. He got a decision win over Sefer Seferi. Sefer Seferi was Tyson Fury's comeback opponent. Okay, so that will kind of tell you what it is about Manuel Charr. Yes, he's a warrior, but he ain't one of the best guys around, in my opinion. He really isn't. I think that the moment that Manuel Charr takes on somebody who's even half decent, he gets smoked out. And the way that Christopher Lovejoy and Manuel Charr were fighting, it's like it's like a sparring session, to be honest with you. That's pretty much what it was. Both of them were, in some ways, quite nervous of each other. You could see the inactivity. Both of them looked very slow, very plodding, very heavy. They really did. And the way that this fight ended was ridiculous. It really was. In my opinion, okay, I've only seen it from one angle, so I don't know if a huge, devastating shot came through, but it didn't look like it, where Manuel Charr, in round number 2, he backed up Christopher Lovejoy with jabs. That's what he was doing. And he kept jabbing, jabbing, jabbing. Christopher Lovejoy, he turned his back in the corner and went down and just didn't get back up again. I didn't see no right hand come in. I didn't see no devastating shot come in where Christopher Lovejoy couldn't have got up. In my opinion, Christopher Lovejoy took this fight to get paid. His entire resume was about coming up to this kind of fight to get paid. He probably knew that he was going to lose. He probably felt as well that if he did land a right hand, he might get lucky with it and pull out a win against Manuel Charr or whoever it was that he was going to be fighting in a big money fight. I don't know how much money Christopher Lovejoy got. I'd imagine it's a fair bit, because Manuel Charr, he's actually quite a popular fighter in Germany. He does have a lot of people backing him. But for me, with the angle that I was looking at, he just got jabbed down to the ground. That's all he'd done, and just said, right, that's it. This is my opportunity to bow out of the fight and take my money and go home. That's how I saw the fight. I really did. But you do have to give Christopher Lovejoy a lot of credit, don't you? You really do. You know, he done the right thing. He beefed up his resume. He had like a hell of a lot of gimme fights and got paid in the end, didn't he? So you do have to congratulate Christopher Lovejoy. But how this fight was pretty embarrassing, I will say, for both parts. And the way that Manuel Charr was celebrating, trying to do a funny kind of cartwheel as a celebration, that was kind of cringy a little bit. But he acted like he just won the world title. I mean, he just beat a guy who everybody knew Manuel Charr was going to beat him. I don't think too many people out there thought Christopher Lovejoy was going to get a win, regardless of the fact that Manuel Charr isn't that good. I mean, he's an okay fighter, and of course, he can be a big puncher, and he's a very experienced guy. He can cause problems for pretty much anybody in the heavyweight division, but it's unlikely he'll beat any of the top guys. I think that's probably fair to say. But either way, like I said, congratulations to Christopher Lovejoy for getting your payday. Big up to you, man. But in my opinion, Christopher Lovejoy, he did quit in that fight. It's my opinion from the angle that I've seen. Unless some devastating shot came through where Christopher Lovejoy was legitimately knocked out, I didn't see it. So for what I have seen, for me, he just went down, said, I ain't getting back up. I'm getting paid. See you later. Free to Zen. I think that's pretty much what he said, right? Anyway, drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up. Subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.